What up, familia? It's your favorite Puerto Rican Brooklyn Philly here, and I feel led to do a reading, asking the universe, asking divinity, asking specifically my guides, my spirit guides, and my ancestors for some insight into this conjunction that we're about to have on the 14th. I just wanted to say conjunction, junction. What's your function? I'm showing my age. I'll literally be 50 years old on the 14th of August, interestingly enough. And I heard, I believe it was an astrologer, indicate that this conjunction between Mars and Jupiter has not occurred, excuse me, confirmation. This specific one hasn't happened since 1989, about 35 years ago. And he admonished those of us who, I guess, clicked on his video to, I saw the strength card, the chariot card as I kept dividing. Good signs. And to kind of go back to 1989, if you were alive at that time. I was. And kind of just think about that year and the things that happened or occurred during that year. And for me, it was a pretty powerful year when I think of in terms of my growth, my healing, my health, my well-being. It was the first time I was introduced to therapy. It was the first time I began to have insights into really defining a higher power greater than myself. It was the first time I had any kind of information or, information regarding, these are the cards that's allowed, interesting, regarding, or comparing like toxic family or toxic dynamic in terms of addictions and abuse, and really being told that that wasn't the norm, that there was a better life to be had, that things were done differently by others. And it was also the year I met the father of my children, whom I lasted with almost 23 years, and we had two beautiful children together. So it's just very interesting when I think of my year, 1989. Confirmation is interesting. That is my mother calling. I'm going to have to call her back because of the video, of course, but that was interesting to say the least. So I wanted to kind of just see collectively, what does the universe have in store for all of us, right? What are some of the things we can be looking at or expect? It's interesting. I just heard a litter, right? A litter, like, I don't know, something a dog would have, or like an animal litter, multiple children. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe that's for some. A lady indicated that Mars also can be a trigger point, but Mars is also, right, action, a call to action, and Jupiter's kind of like the big brother of Mars, and they're aligning. But yeah, this is what this read is about. So if you're interested, let's do this. So interestingly enough, we got it looks like, if I get the camera, 9 of Wands and the 3 of Cups. First thing that stands out to me is she's a single mother, looks like here, right? And being very stereotypical with the card. Stressed the hell out about 2 children that, she's so stressed out, she's not even able to correct or even stop the behavior that they're displaying. Everyone in this household seems to be, I don't know, I just heard in survival mode, traumatic nervous system, trauma response mode, right? And I know what that feels like as a woman and as a mother. I've been there, where you just are so tired to even attempt to correct this type of behavior at the time. Like, you kind of just need a moment to collect your thoughts and get it together. I wish that wasn't my story, of course, right? I wish I could say I've never experienced this type of moment in my life, but I have. And interestingly enough, for me, my children are a girl and a boy, and the girl is older than the boy. Why am I being so interested in this reading. I am sharing a lot about myself. I don't want to throw anybody off. I don't mean to make it about me, but for some reason, I just started exposing a lot about myself for being vulnerable. Um, and then the Nine of Wands, right? Typically, we would say, this person understands they've been through 9 consistent battles. And by this point, yeah, you see the person, they're wounded, they're tired, they're exhausted. They've endured 9 different battles, right? I just heard 9 years for somebody. The last 9 years or last 9 months. I just even heard 9 weeks have been quite an ordeal for someone. And then I get the Three of Cups. And this one usually is just, oh wow, wait, YouTube might not want that image. So, but it's a little risque, right? To say the least. I can't really show it again. Well, I'll show it this way. But for some reason, this time I see it as very liberating. It's almost like we're moving from this era of stressed out mom to liberated woman hearing me roar, right? Interestingly enough, that is what I'm picking up from this card, right? I mean, Three of Cups is celebration, partying. Again, quite the contrast from, interesting. We have the Seven of Wands, right? Well, first I saw stop in the name of love, right? Which is still interesting. There's a heart right on her jean jacket. As I said that, I looked at the heart I was pointing. Right? That before you break my heart. That's the rest of the lyric. But no, it was just stop in the name of love. It's almost like this, I don't know, nonsense, this chaos, this buffoonery needs to stop. And it needs to stop in the name of love. I just heard, for God's sake, for heaven's sake, just stop. Right? This card is typically for me, right, is the stop, don't shoot card for me. Of course, that would resonate with me. Don't know if that can resonate with everybody that's listening, but it's just, yeah, stop. And it's interesting that they're bonding together. There's 2 people, they're holding and supporting one another, and they're saying stop. So I don't know now, like I said, when I get these 3 cards that we're talking about, this Jupiter-Mars conjunction, is this like, change from this energy to more of a freedom, authenticity, that also through that authenticity is then calling to stop some type of injustice. Let's keep going. Let's see. What else, Spirit? Please and thank you. So far, very interesting. What else, Spirit? Anything else? Too many. Please and thank you. Okay. Yeah, look. Yeah, so I just heard it's putting a stop to this, right? And this, I don't see it. I mean, for some, it can be and my nose is itching. It's definitely my ancestors is in the house. I just heard. Are in the house. But this is also my, so I know it depicts a family, right? And I said stop in the name of love, and here it goes, right? So yeah, it's almost like, now I'm hearing, I don't want to deter, but it's like, I don't know, to sound cliche-ish, I need to get a better wording, but just so I don't lose my thought, like stopping some type of generational curses, right? And we call them generational curses, but, and that's like more church lingo and spiritual, but when I'm thinking about it in a more practical sense, I'm thinking more of patterns, right? Ideologies, paradigms, right? Shifting those paradigms, right? Saying stop to that, right? And saying stop to it in the name of love, right? Because this mom, I'm pretty sure, whether it's a male or a female, if it was a dad, loves these children, and these children, I'm sure they love their brother and each other, their brother and sisters, but due to maybe the circumstances, the stress, maybe lack of resources and things of that nature, that's what gets you to this point, right? And if it's like repetitive cycles that's happening and carrying on generationally, I mean, yeah, this is continuing. And now I'm seeing this Three of Cups of, um, and maybe this kind of battles are a result of this type of behavior, right? Now I'm looking at it differently. So at first it was some type of freedom or liberation on one end, but some of you is this type of behavior. And it's not to like belittle women and say women can't enjoy themselves, whether it's a male, it doesn't matter. If the behavior is so lewd, I'm hearing that where it gets you into predicaments that, you know, maybe leave you in this situation, may not be the most healthiest for you, right? She is in this like martini glass. Does this, yeah, she's drinking. So, you know, and then this card is admonishing, right? To stop in the name of love, right? I don't know. Now, for some reason, I just heard this can be you calling your sponsor, and with your sponsor saying, no, I don't want to go down that road anymore. And these 7 wands coming at you is old people, places, and things trying to lure you back into that lifestyle that got you into this predicament. And the only reason you was into this predicament in the first place was because of this, right? This is really him, his inner child. This is really her inner child, right? And then because they really feel like this, they're looking at each other and arguing with each other like this, which is destroying this, the family, right? Again, I'm thinking generations, I'm thinking family lineage. Interesting. Now, another card flipped up. Let's see which one it is. This is the one that, my Isis. I always think of Egypt, I think of Isis. I don't know, I just heard Oshun, right? The Hierophant, right? So I'm just heard God is trying to tell you something, right? Whether you believe in a divinity and a higher power of yourself, a higher power than a greater power than yourself, a higher power than yourself, and even if you don't ascribe to that, a higher sense of self, right? Which is admonishing you, right? The Hierophant is a teacher. It talks about systems and traditions and, you know, I just heard ideologies, right? And deeply rooted thinking and behaviors. And because of your inner child maybe struggling with this, again, yeah, now I'm just seeing this. It's just like a whole. So this Mars Jupiter conjunction is dealing with some deep inner child trauma and issues. Is asking you to stop some type of behavior. Is allowing you to see that you will be protected. It's saying that, yeah, you're at the 9. It's time for this to end. Again, I keep wanting to say buffoonery, but it's, I don't know, I feel bad saying it because it's almost like downplaying it. It isn't to downplay it because trauma and these negative experiences, and in the psychological world, some would call them ACEs, right? Adverse childhood experiences. And it's not just in childhood, there's experiences that we experience during our teenage years, confirmation of my nose, and even in our birth, excuse me, even during our adult years, right? That can, I'm hearing, cause us to believe that life is a certain way, or to think of things or make decisions based on that ideology or that perspective or that fear, right? Or that guilt or that shame or that imposter syndrome or that abandonment or that rejection, whatever it may be. But obviously we're getting, on YouTube, we're getting here to this Hierophant, right? Where, and look, she just looks so calm, so at ease, so peaceful, so knowledgeable, so beautiful, so regal. I don't know, Jaja Gabor, Princess Diana, and all those rich misses, right? There's just this sense of wisdom, right? And right? The eye, right? Which would be the a third eye, but the eye of Ra, right? There's just so much symbolism and so much, I mean, here affinity to ancientness and wisdom and yeah, and then the blue, there's really something about the throat chakra and being able to speak up and communicate. And see is interesting because it fell out right after. This was would look like unhealthy communication, right? And this looks like healthy communication, right? If we're looking at just the blue with the throat chakra, and then this yellow, it being the sun and the sun god Rod and bringing in clarity and illumination, right? And then the temple itself is all letting us know that it holds so much wealth in terms of information and resources. And now I'm hearing Akashic records. They're saying one more from this deck. Looking at the bottom. Yeah, look at the bottom of the deck. Five of Pentacles. Right? There's something about addressing and looking at, right? Because in this image, she sees two individuals. She's looking at the church. And she's outside of it, interestingly enough, but she has on the wedding dress, like she stood up at the altar or something. And it was because, you know, the person left her for another person. But what I'm getting with it is, again, it is talking about all of the different issues that occur in the breakdown of the family. And that this Mars-Jupiter conjunction is to assist what, Spirit? I'm hearing for many of you to transition, you know, again, since that was the 9, right? Because I know for many readers, the 10 is the end of the cycle, but for some, the 9 is, right? Saying this is where you at, you're like, you're done, right? Enough is enough, right? And I heard one more, and that was it for this deck, but I'm feeling compelled to say this was the one, right? This Five of Pentacles, there's usually, once again, it can mean literal, like Five of Pentacles, like I'm broke, you know, broke, busted, and disgusted, but also metaphorical in the sense of lack mentality, right? Feeling, and in this case, rejected, abandoned, left at the altar, right? Again, that mentality that then if you're trying to translate it or to move into your new cycle with that, is not going to work. That there needs to be, right, this paradigm shift, right? This new teachings, right, that needs to be associated with where you're going now, right? And for many of you, there will be a physical, I'm hearing, mentor that will be coming into your life to help you with that. And then for many of you, it is a specific ancestor or spirit guide. And for yet another few of you, it is, oh, I lost it just that quick. The spirit wants it to come back. Divinity itself, right? So there's different camps, you know, right? There's different levels. There's different points for each one. With some are literal and some are more ethereal, figurative. And I heard even this, for some, is you finally realizing, right? I thought that for some reason I saw the Hangman. Finally realizing, right, and understanding who you are, your lineage, from whence you come from, and taking on that banner I'm hearing, that regalness, that royalty, by understanding your sense of self-worth. And that's what's breaking these cycles, right? That's what's breaking these cycles, right? And that's why you're entering into this new cycle. You're moving away from this broke mentality, right? And broke, literally broke, like pentacles, and broken inside, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? And there's this shift occurring. Thank you, y'all. This shift occurring during this planetary conjunction, right? Of Mars, this beautiful action-oriented planet, and Jupiter, right? And Jupiter, why did I want to say it's the planet of expansion? I'm going to look it up, right? We're learning here again. If you're interested, we're sticking with me. Of expansion. Jupiter is known as an expansion planet and is connected to growth, healing, prosperity, and miracles. It governs higher learning, prosperity, and scientific advancements, right? We know, how much talk, come on, there's so much talk about Egypt and how did they build these pyramids and how did they move these stones. And, we have a lot of like our math and our Arabic and our, I'd say Arabic, but it's not Arabic. It's those languages, the Hebrew, the Aramaic. There's a name for them and it's escaping. But a lot of that comes, we can date it back to that. And then a lot of the Greeks took a lot from the Egyptians and we give them credit. But, I can't believe I'm like drawing, they said look it up. Hermes? No, it wasn't Hermes. Archimedes, but it wasn't him. It's not him. Oh, I cannot think of his name. Of alchemy and medicine. We have schools named after him. Okay, I'm not gonna, I can't believe, I talk about him all the time. Imhotep. God, I couldn't think of him. God, so sorry, brother. How could I not? He was most trusted advisor as well as the architect of the Pharaoh's tomb, the step pyramid. Famous for his contributions to medicine. How could I forget that? So anyway, we just said Jupiter for science is that. Oh, that's another thing. When I looked up in 35 years and what happened in 1989, that's when the World Wide Web was discovered and introduced, right? So there really is something to do with science and expansion, and so they made expansive, everything big and expansive, astrology, that kind of learning, prosperity, and scientific advancements. Also, I was in another video that I was doing recording. Pulling cards. I was told about Wally and Son. John Wiley and Sons, which was renamed because the original name before John Wiley and Sons, his father was. So they're like this big publishers. They published since 1807. And they've just made some breakthroughs, but I heard that they're going to be making some breakthroughs this year. This expansion is going to expand them somehow. Why I was told about Wiley and Son, I don't know. It was just, again, yeah, just a prediction. So I'm just putting it back out there just in case. I sent the text to myself. That way I know, that I called it. I'm trying to be better with that because kind of there's some other things I called. I called about Puff Daddy, and then all this stuff came out, and I was talking about him to my kids back in like January about him and running his receipts in regards specifically to Cassidy and any other people he have hurt. And then we had this big great fiasco of coming out on him in March. There is something else about Beanie Siegel and Jay-Z and running those receipts and that whole Dame Dash and Freeway and all. Again, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, but I put that out there. And so there's something, yeah, in this new cycle, really understanding who you are, understanding, standing in your authority, right? Not being afraid to communicate, kind of like just now. I wasn't afraid to make those predictions. They may never, I don't know, or to say those things, but this is what I'm feeling, right? And to have that boldness and that confidence. So this is what that's bringing in, is ushering that. And they told me now that I did Jupiter, might as well do Mars. Because I don't know, I keep hearing in the back of my head, well, Mars is planet of war too, right? And someone did say that the Mars part aspect will be triggering. And yeah, they want me to repeat that. So Mars, trigger warning saying that is triggering, is reminding me of a short that I did the other day where I was explaining that there was a point in my life where I ran and tried to numb and get as far away as I could from any triggers, right? Because triggers can be defined as strong emotional reactions that can bring about fear, shock, anger, worry, just to name a few. And we usually attribute them to past negative experiences, past traumas, and even deeply rooted beliefs, right, and behaviors. And they're important to identify, one, for our self-awareness, and also for the health and the formation and stability of healthy relationships, right? But yet we cringe when we talk about, even I say trigger warning, right? Because we understand that different people, are having these visceral, strong reactions to it. But my point is that there was a point in time in my life where I would just shy away from that and didn't want to feel any of that. And now I turn to, and this is a cheesy way, and of course in no way am I trying to belittle, and yes, I suggest professional assistance to help you, excuse me, with the ruminating thoughts I'm hearing. But I got the analogy of like a indicator, lights on a dashboard, right, of a car or any system for any matter. They are there to let you know, warning, something is going on in this system in the car, or in this system in that, whether it's a machine or whatever it is. And you wouldn't know to even address it if you didn't get that warning light. So it's kind of like I'm trying to look at now my sorry, my puppy's gonna stick over here. My triggers as indicators, letting me know there's something, and wanting to, for me, vigorously get to the root. Go lay down, big boy. Get to the root of, this is Beacon, my bestie, my support animal, to the root of the issue now, whereas before I would run from it. So we went there, but Mars also being the planet of war. Let's see what Mars says. Mars was named by the Romans for their god of war because its reddish color was reminiscent of blood. The Egyptians called it Herdesher, meaning the red one. Even today, it is frequently called the red planet because iron minerals in the Martian dirt oxidize or rust, causing the surface to look red. Fierce red hot planet, and its energy cannot be contained. This energy needs to be released, usually through actions and physical means. Mars helps us take up challenges, fight head on, and win despite the odds with courage and competitive spirit. So this is what we have to look for, and this is what they're wanting to show me in this deck. And we want to thank Spirit, our guides, our loved ones, right? My ancestors, your ancestors, for this beautiful message through this. And I would like to now, for those of you who 30 minutes is enough, you can cut it off right here. I think that would be enough of a message for most. But I want to dig a little deeper. So now that I'm understanding, we're looking at transitioning right from this Five of Pentacles, lack mentality, Nine of Wands, bruised, and about that has been a result of years of maybe, childhood and teenage and trauma or negative experiences and ingrained beliefs. And now we're shifting, right? And then we're being more vocal in terms of our voice, right? Because I saw the blue, the communication. Sorry guys, I'm trying to shuffle these. Now I just want to, and what else, right? What else? What are the things that now, right? Since we are aware of some of the past cycle and what we're leaving behind, what we're transitioning from. And each of us at different points, right, of this journey. So, you decide what part of the journey you're in with this, right? That's why I think Spirit left it open-ended with the Nine of Wands as opposed to a 10, right? Because not everybody's at the 10. But you're definitely, I'm hearing whoever's listening to this video, you're at the 9, right? You're at this precipice where, just want to say, 10 of Swords just dropped. As I said, it didn't say 10. But I'm putting it back because I need to cut it one more time. But that's interesting. So for some, it's over. I just heard, the struggle is over for you. The struggle is over for you. You've been in this place long enough, and your mountainsides have been rough. The struggle is over for you. The struggle is over. Oh yeah, I can't sing, guys, but that song is so beautiful. It's a gospel song, and it really literally is talking about interesting childhood memories, past lives is coming up now. Loyalty, 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 right? And then I'm even hearing like past, like ancestors and past life, right? It's almost what I saw when I just saw the dog just now. What I heard was that this companion that's with you now was with you as a child, right? Whoever this dog represents in your life, and this loyalty, this bond. And because it's so ethereal, like, doesn't seem to be so grounded for me, it's almost like if it was an ancestor or spirit guide or something that has been with you since childhood, right? And has been loyal to you since then, right? Interesting. Right? And you've been in this place far too long, right? Long enough, right? For some of us, it has been since childhood, right? And even when you think about this conjunction that we're talking about, they're saying that this didn't happen since 35 years ago. 35 years is a long time. Like, freak out of here, I just heard, right? And what else, Lord? Thank you so much. Again, you could stop the message here. This message is so filled and laced, I'm hearing, with hope and promise, right? To keep your head up. Oh my God, look what comes back out. The Five of Pentacles, right? You've been in this place long enough. For some of you, this has been coming to you from past lives. And now I'm not hearing past lives. I'm hearing, past lives in the sense of generations, right? Generations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 generations back, which is interesting because they says DNAs can carry up to 3 generations within of their trauma, you know, of the mother's trauma, you know, from the womb to womb to womb. But this is talking specifically for 6 generations. There's been this lack mentality, right? And I don't know, we started off very bright in here and everything, you know, the sun is setting where I'm at. It is 7:33. It's not setting yet till like about 8:30, but the room has, it's shifted, right? Paris passport is on TV. Or my TV is on the kind of like, okay, rotation. And then under that, look what we have. The Two of Swords. And this Two of Swords, I love it, right? And I don't like Two of Swords typically, no way, to be quite honest. But this one I find quite beautiful because I see it as a detangling. I see these crows as aids, as spirit guides, as ancestors, right? With their majestic beauty and their wings flapping, this, you know, and then think about it, they're around her head. She can't see, so it's whatever's in her mind, right? So it's almost like this detangling of the mind, this changing. You know, I just heard the changing of the guard. I just saw in my mind those old clocks where the little soldier comes up and comes out and change, right? The changing of the guard. Now I'm actually seeing those, is it British, right? With those big hats and they wrap around here with the red, like the toy soldiers, right? Yes, first, excuse me. There's a changing of the guard that is occurring on the 14th of August. Alhamdulillah. Right? I'm hearing that deep in my spirit. That is shifting you from this Five of Pentacles mentality. Now think about it. In this Five of Pentacles, she's sitting here depleted, divested, filled with no hope. I just heard trigger warning, depressed, right? Almost feeling immobile. And the key that unlocks this door is right there. And she's so, and that's no jab at her, right? I know what that feel like, to feel so dejected, right? So just tired. Okay. So tired that you're just this depleted, right? Reminds me of the card over here we just had, right? Very similar image, even though it's the Nine of Wands. Look at her face. She's just tired. Like, you just ever was just tired of being tired even, right? It just, and then you're in such a state of mind that you can't even think straight. You can't even fathom, like, where do I go next? What do I do next? You know? It's like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I'm hearing your... Interesting. I just yawned. I just got tired, right? Your nervous system is so... I'm thinking of those indicator lights again. Has been so used to being on survival mode. And just think about it. If you had a car engine and you just stayed on the gas, even though it was in park, for 35 years, well, I don't think an engine would have lasted 35 years, but think about that. Yes, you're tired. There's this sense of just... Interesting. Wow. Yes. Right? And it's been going on. You've been in this place. I'm hearing it far too long. The struggle is over for you. You're going to be able to see this key now. And you're going going to unlock this door, right? My wristwatch lit up as I said that. And you're going to get out of this Two of Swords where you're refusing. And again, there's no jab. Again, it's no jab, man. Life be lifing. And it gets that hard that sometimes, yeah, you don't even want to see shit. Even the thought of making a decision hurts your head. You know what I mean? Um, Oh, sorry, guys. I am really now tired. Like, that's just amazing to me. And what else, Spirit? Anything else from this deck? That's too many, Spirit. Is there any? Look at what comes up. Because I don't do reversals, so. We have the Seven of Cups and the Sun. Like, how beautiful is that? We're moving from a place of damp, dark, by myself. I can't see anything. There's only a piece of light shining in, barely shining on this key, just enough to illuminate this key, but I can't even see it. Eyes blindfolded, don't want to see it, closed, eyes wide shut, I'm hearing, to this burst of clarity, right? It's almost, yeah, it's from the divine, it's the universe that just kind of, and what I'm hearing now with this burst of clarity and all these little dots and lines, if you could see them, neurons, synapses firing up, connecting again and forming new ideas. I'm hearing atomic bombs. Oh, can I say that? I'm hearing Big Bang theories over and over, multiple of them going on in your brain right now. This is what you're entering. This is what you're leaving behind. This is what you're leaving behind. This. To enter into this. The Sun. Some would dare say it's the happiest card, right? For some readers. The Sun, right? Leo season. Very apropos. I don't know why I wanted to say that word. Right? Very appropriate for the season that we're in, right? For the Leos that are celebrating birthdays, right? And you don't have to be a Leo celebrating a birthday. There's just some, and now it looks like a beautiful flower, right? Like a lotus flower that, yeah, man. Oh my God, look how gorgeous that card just got. Is it just me because of the angle? And it almost feels like it's this flower that's blooming out of this portal that just opened up in the sky. Right, a portal, right? We just did do the 8-8 portal, right? That some would suggest would be lasting all the way through December, depending on who you talk to, right? Is bringing in this illumination, this clarity, right? That is going to be transformative in ways I'm hearing you can't even imagine or begin to imagine. And you're right, and you're like in this receptive mode, right? You're receiving it now too, right? Whereas here, you're not receiving anything. You're not even looking at the key. And here, you're almost fighting away the crows from helping you, right? Now you're changing and shifting into this receptivity mode, right? That's going to create options where now your problem is going to be, which one do I choose, right? Look at it, be like, which one do I choose? Oh my God, I got so many options there. How do I choose? I think I want that one, right? And look at his body. It's like almost, you can't see the bottom, but it's like it has to be in water, right? Cups, half water, and right, there's this beautiful balance for me for both in this Seven of Cups. And he's pointing to this one over here that seems to be more grounded, right? Not on sinking sand, not with anything, you know what I mean? More stable, more grounded, right? Because when your nervous system regulates and you're no longer in survival mode, and that's just one of the modes that we can be in. It can be different modes that are not fight, flight, flee, right? Fawn. Sorry, guys. When you're in those modes, Yeah, you can't make, it's hard to make um, appropriate decisions, healthy decisions, because you're constantly making them out of fear or anxiety or in like, I gotta hurry up because the situation, yeah, it's just no bueno, it's not good. One more spirit from this. Anything else from this? That is 2 and 3. It doesn't seem to be anything else. Look what's at the bottom of the deck. Stability, security, right? So the 4 pentacles can be looked at in a couple of different ways, right? I know for some people, they'll look at it and they say you're holding on, right? And for some, it may be that. It may be admonishing you to not be afraid, to not hold on tightly, right? To allow yourself, right? To accept that you have these choices, right? But then for me, this sometimes also, because it seems like she's away over here, and that looks like the city is almost being able to have the stability and the security to, I saw this short today where this woman said, my husband allowed me the opportunity to get out of survival mode when he decided to come to me about a year ago and said, moving forward, I'm going to take on all of the financial responsibility. It will no longer be your concern. It will be for me to handle for us. I want to do this, and I want you to, concentrate on you or whatever. And that, she was just sharing how grateful she was to him because it allowed her the opportunity to then calm her nervous system, really get to know herself even more and what she wanted to do. And now she even has a prosperous business that is contributing to their finances and flourishing in even more ways. And he's even, because he's allowed, like, I guess, took on that responsibility. Her disclaimer was their belief in that God has even blessed him even the more because he stepped up and even assumed that responsibility. So it's almost like that's what I'm getting from this. Allow yourself to have the options and to know that that option is going to be viable enough to give you this sense of security, because she also looks very peaceful to me. She doesn't look angst or worried about, holding on to this purse. It's almost like a peacefulness. I mean, and that's, we're all reading things differently, right? I get it. Some could say no, she looked like she's clutching this purse and she's holding on to it and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it's usually interpreted. But for me today, that's how I am interpreting her. That she's kind of almost like, I'm just her waiting to exhale, and she's able to exhale, and I love that. I don't know, promenade, I don't know why I just said that word, but I love that she's like on a balcony and she's away from all of that, and it seems like she's just enjoying, even the way her hair is softly like blowing in the wind, right? It's almost like she's able to woosah now, right? To relax because of this shift, right? And then the sun is usually our childhood, right? Well, represented with a child riding a horse. And I don't think it's a coincidence we opened up with this beautiful childhood card, almost kind of Spirit's way of saying, I'm giving you your childhood's desires. They're being restored to you. Now I'm hearing you're going to be given back what the years that the lotus and cankerworm has stolen. That's a scripture from the Bible if you're interested. That's beautiful, thank you. And at the bottom of the deck, I cannot make this up when I just moved that one. 10 of Wands, right? And it's interesting because when I first shuffled, if you paid attention, remember the Ten of Swords came out. So there's 10-10, right? Definitely this endings to these completions, which is beautiful because we had got the Nine of Wands in the previous deck, right? It's, yeah, it's assuring you. Just heard, verily, verily, I promise you, this is done. You're done with that cycle. And that's not to say that you'll never, have trials and tribulations. Now I'm hearing Ecclesiastes, I'm hearing King Solomon, right? I'm hearing, the rain and the sunshine, falls upon both, right? On everyone, right? So it's not to say that you won't have struggles moving forward, but those struggles, particularly centering around this lack of mind, right? This lack mentality, this mentality where you feel, outside, ostracized, rejected, dejected, alone, isolated. Here she looks like she's in a dungeon, and here she looks like she was left at the altar. Again, both different. Right here she looks very teenage stage. Here she looks a very young woman stage. And again, it's not gender specific. It's just these are the energies I'm reading from the card. But yeah, it's moving away from that mentality, right? That maybe you have acquired, in different ways and carried from childhood to teenagehood to adult, right? Throughout these lifespans. Again, 35 years. It's a long time. What else? They said the she knows oracles. So yes, this is oracle cards. She knows. I love this deck so far. I recently purchased it. This is one of my newer decks. I've had those other two for quite some time, but this is a beautiful deck that I recently acquired. And oh, something just flew out before I can even cut it in. But look, rest. Look at that butterfly. See, and that's what I'm getting from this. Right? Yeah, Spirit said there's no coincidences. Don't worry about it. That's what I'm getting from this. This is a rested nervous system. This is a I'm hearing this is like a kumbaya moment. This is like my yogi moment. This is like my chakras. And it's interesting, there's different colors for these pentacles. This is my chakras aligned, right? Yes, and now I'm this stable that I'm able to do this. Just rest, right? After being so tired. So tired and stressed out, right? Interesting. So beautiful. They said keep it, I'ma keep it. So one more, just in case. 2 and 3. Any other oracle cards from She Knows? Oracle. Interesting. What popped up here? Union. Oh wow, look at that rainbow up top. What I just heard, and 2 of them popped up. So I'll address this one in a minute. But what I just heard clear as day is, I see you. And now I'm thinking about that story in Leah and is it in Deuteronomy, Exodus? I'm sorry, you would have to look it up yourself. But Leah, if you're not familiar with the what Christians call the Old Testament, but what our Jewish brothers and sisters would refer to their canon, right? The Torah. There's the story of Joseph, where he and Laban, the father of Leah and Rachel. And why am I saying Joseph? I'm confusing him. Jacob, not Joseph. I knew it was a J. That's what was throwing me off. Jacob. who was also known as a trickster, like Laban, the father. So it's interesting, this mirroring aspect. And they both interesting. But if you don't know the story, it's a very interesting account about how Jacob went and wanted to marry Rachel and asked for Rachel's hand in marriage, and Laban tricked him and gave him Leah, the older sister, and said it's only right because she's the older sister. How can the older sister not be married off before the younger sister? And then Jacob went ahead and Jacob initially worked 7 years for Laban for free for Rachel, and then when he didn't get Rachel, he worked 7 more years for her, and in total 14 years. But the first marriage was to Leah, and Leah had several children by Jacob, and each child she would name, you know, now he's, you know, it was interesting, the names that Leah, I won't butcher it. It's a very beautiful, touching story. I suggest but the whole time Leah feels rejected by him. Interesting. I'm thinking of that Five of Pentacle card of being left at the altar. And she names her children every time she has her sons. One was me. So thinking Yaakov's love could be purchased somehow, Leah named her firstborn son Reuben, meaning see a son, because it was almost like her point, like, see, I gave you a son. What greater gift can a woman give than you can carry your lineage? And that still wasn't enough for him. So then the second one was Levi, then Judah, but each name had a meaning attached with he sees me. God will add, you know, different things. It was her way of trying to show, you know, pick me. I'm the one. Like, why don't you love me? Look, I'm giving you these sons. But then finally, the last one, I forget the name, but it was God sees me, right? Where she finally accepted. That's interesting. I went into that story, but I'm hearing now, I don't know if it was a movie or something, but yeah, where it says, I see you. I see, it was Leah. I see you, right? Finally being seen. So for many of you, maybe you've been in unions in the past where you felt like Leah, right? Very much disrespected, not only by Jacob, but by her own father, Laban, right? Used as a pawn, right? Rejected, embarrassed. The list can go on, right? And then, like many of us, try so hard to win the love and the acceptance of our father figures, Laban, and our partners, Jacob. And she had child after child trying. Look how dark it got. Interesting when I said that, right? Because it does take you to a dark place within yourself when you feel you need to try so hard to be loved. Now I just heard to be loved, to be loved. Oh, what a wonderful feeling to be loved. And I'm thinking Coming to America, Eddie Murphy running down the street. But he was, you know, wooing Lisa, and he loved her so much that he was willing to give up his throne, right? That type of love, right? Instead of, you know, you're fighting so hard for it, but that other person isn't fighting or doesn't feel that you're even worth that fight, right? And the pain that comes from that, right? But this union, you will see him and he will see you. You will value him. And I'm saying him and her because of the genders on the cards. You know, again, however it resonates for you, we're talking about energy, right? Of these sexes, the feminine and the masculine. Not necessarily in that. But bottom line, right? Look at this perfect mirroring, like this yin and yang, eye to eye, right? Like this sense of equality. Look at the rainbow up top. Oh my God, definitely ordained, right? There's this cross there. Yeah, and what I hear clearly is I see you, right? It's one thing to be with somebody. There's another thing when they see you and see you truly, like, right? They're looking each other deeply in each other's eyes, suggesting. And then it's interesting, we get rest. And my ear just started ringing. And then we get union, right? So for some of you, I just heard this looks like a vacation, right? Sometimes there's the beach. She said, so maybe during your next vacation or your next outing somewhere, while you sitting there resting and least expected, you're going to meet your the one that's meant for you. I wanted to say some other words, but I think it's so dangerous sometimes. We have to be very careful how we use twin flames, because I can see, I know for myself how it can keep you like looped in into some toxic situations, right? Because you've created this, but this is my twin. So yeah, I'm not saying that. This person who finally sees you and then you finally sees them. That's what it's saying. And what is this card? Let's see. It came out. Flow. I didn't even, and I don't know. For some reason, I just got like the third eye, right? That, or the opinion, like that chakra, that, right, is right there. And it's interesting. It's couched. This union card again. That's what I'm seeing. This union card is couched between this rest and flow, right? That is almost like signifying to you that is in this state of rest and in this state of flow, it's just going to happen. And when, for some it's saying, and when it does happen, just flow. Right? Easier said than done sometimes, but just flow. And at the bottom, what do we have here? 10. What is that word? Grief. Oh, it's a face. Look, guys, at the bottom of that. Everything is purposeful. It's an eye. That's a nose. And then there's water. And then there's this flower. And it's a perfect 10. Again, so I'm seeing it two ways, right? The 10 signifying it's an end to this grief. But then also there's this sense, right, that it is in this grief that you've watered this new possibility, right? That, isn't it odd or strange that, you can look back over some of these experiences that you've had that have been pretty painful, but you've grown so much and so much has developed in spite or as a result of whichever way you want to put it. Again, I'm not justifying any evil, or harmful acts being done to you or anything, and saying that that's faded that way. I'm not saying no F shit like that. I'm just saying it's just interesting how sometimes it is those tears that then, or as a result of me reflecting and crying those tears and addressing those triggers and screaming it out or crying it out, sometimes that then helped me with that mind shift, that paradigm shift, to look at things from different perspective, and then allow growth in different areas in my life, right? So it's just beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. So now we're at 1 hour in. Again, you can break it down into 2 half-hour sessions if you want to, and it would be fine with that. But I'm hearing grab a room, so I will grab a room. Let's grab a room, right? Let's just to see with the rooms. Thank you, Odin, right? Odin hanging in the hangman position off of a tree. That's how it is said that the rooms came about, right? And he saw these sticks, the twigs that were on the ground. And they were, my hair gets under my arm, guys. All of a sudden I gotta move it because it pulls on it when I kind of, but That's pretty dope, right? Here you are just hanging on the tree. Again, it's some beauty to that, right? That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's how the divinity works, right? That in the most peculiar places, in the most unexpected of times sometimes, right? Um, like just hanging upside down off of a tree. Such, right? Because now I'm seeing the twigs of the rooms again. It's like these synapses, these neurons bonding and creating and firing up new possibilities, right? Now I'm seeing the cosmos, the galaxies, kind of like planet and Jupiter, their conjunction together, and then they say Venus is aspecting, and all these things is like these membranes, these twigs. Right now I'm seeing like veins or like, like sprouting out and touching each other. It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. Yeah, I'm cheesy like that. I'm okay. Gonna say pretty dope. Right, what room? Thank you so much to our spirit guides, to divinity, to our ancestors for showing up, showing out, and showing off. Right? We have beautiful. Do you want that? Yeah. Beautiful things to expect and anticipate. Look at this. I can't make this up. Look, and they're holding hands and walking towards the light. I don't know, I just got cheesy. I said, just follow the light, Lillian. Lillian, follow the light. Isn't that poltergeist or something? Oh, God. See, I'm showing my age. Now, if I look up poltergeist and it came out like, I'm going to be over. Right? Let's see. Yeah, this is just me being goofy, y'all. No, it actually came out in 1982. Well, I don't know. Poltergeist 2 came out in 86 and Poltergeist 3 came out in 88. So, but anyway, look at how beautiful that is. We have two individuals holding hands, travailing this road in this tunnel together towards the light. Right? And I'm seeing these as just little light, right? Because sometimes that's all we can get is just little lights, right? Leading and helping us across the way, right? And it just got real dark. Interesting. Right? Yeah, it's like being in that dark tunnel and you just see these specks of light, right? But you see it, right? And that's another thing, right? That's what I'm hearing Spirit is saying. You're at the point, that's where the shift is coming from, where you see the light at the end of the tunnel already. Now you're even unified to go to it, right? And this room is called, I'm gonna butcher it, Kenaz, Kenaz, for those of you who want to look it up. But I'm gonna look it up for us too. I'm curious. Why not? Right? Why not? Shine some light. Ooh, it's hurting my eyes, guys. Kenaz. Action and expansion. God, this is such a beautiful conjunction. Kenaz room meaning. No, not name meaning. Room. Hey, interesting. Now it's interesting, Kenaz, name meaning is bright. Isn't that something? That's the Hebrew name meaning for it. Interesting, bright. Kenaz represents the torch that lights the way. And as such, you can use this rune as a motivational reminder in your endeavors. Represents the flaming passion of sexual attraction. I'm telling you, for some of y'all, it's about to get litty, I heard. Litty again. I gotta get litty again. Yo, I don't know what that means. But yes, it's ignited a new passion. And it's clear, it says sexual attraction. In Anglo-Saxon, Kenaz is sen, and in the Old Norse, it's kaun. Kenaz is the rune of fire. It means to kindle, to light, and to bring into the light. Hence, come into the light, right? That's when the little short lady, remember, she was telling the little girl so she could get out of like the demons, to come back through the TV, to like follow the light, to come to the light. Interesting, guys. And that's the room that divinity wants to leave us with. That, you know, that for some, you are the light. And I just heard that sound, you are the light, you are the light, right? That's a song. That's a beautiful song. I'm hearing, look that up. And oh God, I forget the song. I'm not gonna. It's by a brother. The problem is that song, You Are the Light, is so general. So many songs. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I would have to look that up. Yeah, it's a brother. It's not too old. But yeah, he's singing, You are the light, you are the light, the shining. And it's talking about in the song that they tried to stop that light, but yeah, don't. It's a man. It's a fine brother too. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop, guys. I get pretty obsessive. If I remember it, or if anybody remembers it, drop it in the thing. But it's saying you are the light. You're this light for others. The light is at the end of the tunnel. See it. Know that it's right there. Head towards it. For some, it is really a union that's coming about. Yeah, and I'm hearing now. Let's take some of these. Let me see what comes out. We'll do 3 of these, and then I'll close it out. I'm going 3 of these and one of those motivational. Yeah, this energy feels so good. It's 11333 as I said that. 11333. I just heard angel numbers. Look it up. For some is 113 and for some is 333. Is that a 1-2? A 1-2? I like to introduce myself. My name is, yeah. Let's see. Oh, something flew out really quickly. Let's see. What is this? What does this say? Power. Look at that. Power. Sorry, guys. It really got dark in here. That's very interesting. Power. The card says power. I don't know what's going on. Power. It says you have the power to take control of your life, career, and finances. Focus on your needs. Stop playing and look at her. Right? And that's what reminds me in that card where she's holding the purse. It's like she's focusing on herself, right? She's focusing on her needs, and the ability to be able to do that is what allows the system, the nervous system, to regulate and to calm itself, right? To then be able to, yeah, no, man, this is what you're getting. This is what this portal has been bringing, and this is what this conjunction, what we can expect from this conjunction. Conjunction, junction, what's your function, right? And wasn't there like an educational show, right? Alchemy is the next card that just popped out. And it says using, let's bring it in simple. Using witchcraft, occult, and learning God's secrets transform the situation, right? And look at that cauldron. It looks so beautiful, right? It reminds me of that union card. Look at this, guys. I'm reminded of the rainbows in that union card. Look. Look. Right? Very similar. Right? And then I'm hearing, right? You know, for those of you who don't believe in like the occult or don't, you know, aren't into spell work or potions or, you know, it's okay. When I think of alchemy, I'm thinking of kind of like when we were talking about maybe that trauma, that mindset, and when we're shifting it, that's alchemy. That's a form of alchemy because you're shifting, right? With the neurons, it's firing back up them synapses. That's a form of alchemy. I'm hearing turning your pain into power, right? Yes, and that's what we just got, the power card. Right before that, we got power, and now alchemy, right? You have the power to alchemize your life, to create the life that you desire, right? In all aspects of it. Right? And in career, your finances, and your relationships, right? You hold the light, you hold the light. I'm sorry, God. That song is so beautiful. Molly. The boy name is Molly. I knew I would find it. That's The Light by Molly. That's the song. Thank you, y'all. I couldn't stop until I said it's called Fight for You. Fight for You. And yeah, I'm being led. I don't care, cheesy. Those who want to, you know, lick off, you can. I'm not mad. Right? And it's interesting, you know, I'm not trying to use language of violence in it, but I'm hearing the violent, yeah. The kingdom suffer violence and the violent take it by force. That's a whole nother conversation. But Molly Fight for You lyrics, right? Because with Mars being like associated with that, there is this sense of fight for your life, right? And yeah, I don't know. So I know they see you when they want you. I know they see you when they want to make you who they want you to be. I know that life is trying to get you. I know that life is calling out to you by your name, but don't listen. Resist it. Keep trying. Don't you stop for nothing. Just keep kicking. Remember where you came from. Don't forget what you already know. What you got is amazing. Hold that. Don't you let it go. And that's very, very, very goes back to this. And that light, I think, is not, I think it's meant that it is so much darkness here. We're talking about follow the light. Lillian, we talked about the light with the room card, and now I'm having to use this light on the phone, which almost looks like that lotus flower in that sun card when we pulled out the sun card for clarity, right? Sorry guys, this just is, but this union, right? You see what he's saying right there? He said, I know they see you when they want you. I know they see you when they want to, right? Not anymore. This is you seeing you, maybe your masculine, feminine, or this next relationship being able to see you for who you really are. Not when they want you just sexually, not when they want to, when it's convenient for them, right? It's saying you hold the light, you hold the light, you hold the light, and it's shining and making darker places bright in your lighter. You hold the light, you got the Lord, you bring a lot, you bring a lot, and it's sad and it's saved, and they could see it, they want it in it. But it's not for the taking, it's not for the changing, no, it's not for remixing, it's not for remaking, all right? So they lining up to take it, all right? I can't let them take my you. You know I write for you. I won't let them take you. I won't let them. I won't let them take you. I'll be your protection. I'll be your direction. Yeah, I'll be your protector. You know I'll rather fight for you. I'll fight for you. I'll fight for you. You know I'm fighting because I refuse to lose you. Fight for you. Fighting because I refuse to lose you. Fight for you. I'll fight. You know I'm ready. Said I'll fight for you. I mean, and it goes on. This is a pretty long song, but there's this sense of fight. And for me, that song became me. For me, when I was introduced to this song, it was my way of speaking, like my higher self speaking to myself, saying, I'll fight for you. You know, I know they want to take you. I know they want to lose you. I know they want to remake who you are and remix you somehow. But no, I'll fight for you. The you that I see, right? I don't want nothing else but you, your true authenticity, right? Well, I just got chill. Lord have mercy. But now it's to the point in this new shift that's occurring, this new planetary alignments moving forward, this new cycle, this new transition, this new chapter you're stepping into is not only now that you have recognized who you are, right? We went back to the Hierophant, right? Her looking so beautiful, so Isis self, right? So regal in that Hierophant, understanding who you are to so much to the point that now you're vibrating to where you bringing in union for yourself that also is vibrating on that level, also is able to see you, right? And you know, it doesn't necessarily all have to be, and I'm hearing this levels to this shit, right? For some level is you seeing yourself on that level, your yin and yang, your masculine and feminine becoming one, to the next level where you get a union, a partnership where you see each other that way, to the next level where your community, right, your tribe, you're vibing that way, right? It's on that level now. I'm seeing like when you throw a stone in the water and the pebbles, you know, the ripples ripple out, right? Is that contagious, right? Ooh, child. And I heard one more. Let me say we're just going to get 3 out of here. Thank you, Spirit. There we go. Let's see what came out. I can't see. Social status. Ew. You will reach the heights of fame and society. Don't get arrogant. Ooh, okay. But look at that, yo, look at that crown. I promise you, this rainbow. Right now I'm hearing rainbow children, right? Look how beautiful. So yeah, this, you know, for some of you are entrepreneurs, some of you are looking to start your own. And that's what I'm talking about. Because you're able to regulate your system, which will then allow you to make better decisions and feel better about yourself and stabilize yourself, you will be able to create now from a pure, authentic aspect of yourself to the point that it can reach. I just heard sky's the limit, right? It's social status, right? And of course, for everybody, it's not going to be that you know, reach this stardom on. There's different levels to it, right? Whether it's in your family, for yourself only, for your family, for your community, your environment. You know, maybe you are an influencer, maybe, you know, whatever the aspect of the field it is, it will be on that level for that, right? But it's also is leaving us with a warning, right? A heeding to not get arrogant, right? to make sure that we check that, right? And the last, yeah, I don't know. I just looked at those goddess cards, and I feel compelled to even pull one of those goddess cards to see what goddess you should probably be working with. You know, that it may be good or maybe wants to work with you. That came out good. And I didn't even, but it says, you are greatly loved. Oh, guys, look at this. I gotta read this to you. You are greatly loved. Look around you. You are surrounded by people who love you, support you, and are here to encourage you as you press on toward your goals. You know, and for some, I'm hearing, really listen to that. Really take that. Because, you know, sometimes we can get so into survival mode, be so into, you know, this with the children and everything, where it feels like you're all alone and you're not even loved, right? But, you know, and I'm not saying I get it. For some, there may be some, you look around and you say, no, sis, I really don't have anybody. You know, but I'm hearing your ancestors do, your guides do, your spirit team. And if you're listening to this video, they definitely love you because they're sending this message of encouragement and hope towards you. It says it in the card. That's what it just says. Who love you, support you, and are here to encourage you as you go on to towards these goals, right? And sometimes I think, you know, we get so, I know for me, I've gotten wrapped up to it. I don't got that partner. I don't have those friends that I miss on, you know, certain, you know, like my children love and adore me. My pet loves and adores me. My mom, you know, I don't have my father anymore, but there's other people, my sisters, some of my nieces and nephews, like they love and adore me. So, and sometimes it's easy to kind of just like brush it off because they're like family or they're, you know what I mean? But yeah. And at the bottom of the deck, I feel keep going. Just, I don't want to try to think that I'm lying. So let me just show me the money, right? So at the bottom of the deck is keep going. Just take one step at a time. Every bit of effort you make towards your goal is worth it and will bring you closer to where you want to be. And both cards are talking about goals, right? To keep working towards your goals, not to give up, right? You want to screenshot these really quickly to kind of like save them as affirmations, right? To remind you. And yes, I feel compelled to take a goddess to see who maybe wants to work with you or during this time. And you know, even if it's not her specifically, but maybe there's, if you read her story, there's specific characteristics that she embodies that maybe they're admonishing you to kind of consider, or you know, it's a little rough getting in. I mean, the cards and the card stock is a little different, but I'm not gonna lie, I felt like that tension on my neck. And those again, ancestors, definitely. Which goddess? Thank you. Oh, that flew out pretty quickly. And she showed herself to me. She just definitely did, and I put it right back in because, you know, I hadn't shuffled yet. Mastery. And it doesn't surprise me, right? And look, she has like this alchemy thing. I'm not gonna Saraswati. And I don't have the guidebook, sorry guys, to read it. But look her up. The number 45, again a 9, right? Which end, you know, ending of one cycle and leading to another one. But it doesn't surprise me that it says mastery, because we're talking about in the two previous cards, they're admonishing you to keep working towards your goals. And one of the ways to work towards your goals is to, sorry guys, is to work on them. And when you're working on them, you're mastering them, right? Um, and that's it, guys. That is it. I believe that we're gonna do one for career or around money. Let's do that real quick. This is usually talks about like jobs and careers. So let's see. What did you have to say to us? And thank you, Sarah Swami, right? We want to thank her. Negotiation, I think that says negotiated, negotiation. Oh, negotiate, right? So remember, we got the Seven of Cups. So maybe these options is going to give you the opportunity to negotiate. So negotiate, right? Don't be afraid. And I just got that song. Don't be afraid of the way you feel. Right? Negotiate. Right? He's shaking that other person's hand. Right? So yeah, you might sit at the table and somebody might offer something to you and you might not think it's the best one for now I'm getting that scene and I watched the Serena Williams with Will Smith and right the endorsement people were sitting there with her and told her, well, we'll offer you this and you got this amount of time, and she was like, no, I'm gonna wait. They were like, no, why would you wait? What if you don't lose? She said so, and look, she still lost and wound up getting even higher endorsements and even more money, right? So don't be afraid to negotiate, I'm hearing. And what's this one that just saving money, right? So maybe there's something about in your negotiations, once you negotiate, right, and you reach the status and you meet these goals, don't forget to save, right? Don't forget. And then for some reason, I just saw the little, see how that's like a little seedling sprouting? So it's almost, I'm hearing, due to saving money, that saving, right, is sprouting. It's almost like the line to more, right? And one more, the last one. I like to take them in threes. One more thing, Spirit. Just one more. They said two. Yep, two came out. Okay, I said one more, but you said two. So we got here loan denied. And what's the other one? Internship. And I don't see that as a negative. I'm thinking loan denied because you're not going to need a loan. There's no need for a loan anymore. So we're denied, the possibility of a loan is denied because you're not going to need it. We don't want loans, right? Where we're moving into this next cycles, I will not be the borrower, but I will be the lender. But I will not be the borrower. I won't need to borrow and to put myself where, and it's talking about negotiating and saving, right? Like, your negotiation is going to allow you to save so much that you're not going to need to ever take a loan from anybody ever again, I'm hearing. And then internship. And then I'm hearing, look up the actual definition of what an intern, I know, but they're wanting me to. There's something about this Webster's dictionary that somebody, because there's internships and externships. I had to do both, one at undergrad and one at grad level, but they're wanting me to. So the position of a student or trainee who works in an organization, sometimes without pay, in order to gain work experience or safety or satisfy requirements for a qualification. So an internship is a professional learning experience that offers meaningful practical work related to a student's field of study or career interest. And I'm not talking so much that I'm thinking about it, like, right? So kind of like I'm hearing more, what I'm hearing Spirit saying is more like kind of when you become an apprentice. And on that note, my son is about to come in. The screen is fully dark, and I'm going to end this video. I want to thank your guys, my guys. I want to thank Divinity, our ancestors, for such a beautiful message. The message is that this new Jupiter Mars conjunction is bringing in such beauty. My working man, mailman too. Interesting. He works for the post office, so there's something about some form of communication I'm hearing. Expected for many of you, it will be coming through the mail, snail mail, but some form of communication also will be bringing in. So thank you. I love you. I look forward to seeing you. Until next time. Mwah. Ashe, amen, and amen.